it was like 10 first year analysts that were interviewed just talked about like how they were being put through it, working like over 100 hours a week, um, like barely getting enough time to like eat, sleep, and shower, like working, like getting off at 8 o'clock, having to be at work at like 6 o'clock the next day type stuff. They were like, I literally only
Yeah.
have like however many, yeah, they're like besides sleep, like I
Yeah,
literally only have like
there's nothing else. Yo, 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 what is good, guys? Welcome back to another Cam Chronicles episode of the podcast, man. Man, it's episode 7, man. The statistics say that most podcasts do not make it past episode 7. So we are at that mark. And we will have another episode next week. It's going to be a personal episode, where it's just me and not another guest. But today, we do have a guest, very special guest indeed. We have Mr. Zachary Harper, man, a high school friend, a business associate, man. He's doing big things in business, and he's going to tell you all about it, man. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. Welcome back, podcast people. Like I said, I got my guy, Mr. Zachary Harper, on the podcast, man. I hit him up earlier this week, wanted to get him on. He's a friend of mine. We went to high school together, as is a trend with a lot of my guests. We're gonna switch up the guests a little bit, but got to get these boys on here. Yeah, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, tell you all what he does, and what what he's doing in college right now. So go ahead, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Zachary Harper. I'm a sophomore now at Indiana University, studying business, accounting, trying
Yeah.
to figure out my life, all that, on the school grind as usual, Once upon a time, I dabbled in the YouTube game with the quantum
Yeah, I got
channel.
I got that in my notes, man. We could bring that up right now, my guy. This man had a little YouTube career. I thought you were gonna do something with it, man. I don't know. Have you ever considered getting back into it, or you think it's something you either won't explore or will explore in like years to come?
Yeah, bro, it would have to be in years to come, but like I
Right?
don't know. It was sort of like when I was watching your perfectionism video the other day, and like you was speaking facts, but it was that same thing where like I don't know, bro. It's like the way I felt like I wouldn't have been ready to blow up. I don't know. Like I couldn't like the content, the quality of content. I feel like I wasn't ready to like blow in terms of like editing, like thumbnails, quality of content, like all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like you, yeah, like
I
so.
hear that, bro. I hear that. And big shout out to you for watching that video. Not a lot of people realize that was a video, I don't think. And so I
Yeah.
was like, dang, bro, that video did not get any views. But if you're watching the podcast now and you're interested in that video, it's about perfectionism. Definitely go check that out. It's definitely a something that, content creators probably a lot of content creators go through. And if you haven't gone through it, you may go through it. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. But in terms of you not succeeding or not feeling that you could succeed on YouTube, I totally feel that. I think that's something that me and Dej went through way earlier than you. And then you
Yeah.
kind of saw us ahead of you, and then we're like, I can't make it, bro. I'm telling you, it's people don't realize how much of a grind it is learning how to do
Mm,
YouTube. Like I do streams now and I do videos now, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And it's like they're not even on that level that I wanted
right.
to be at. But even to get to that point, it took so much
Yeah.
knowledge in terms of the YouTube
Yeah.
algorithm and knowing how to tag your videos and doing that. And even though I'm doing all of those steps, I'm still not at 1,000. I'm still not at 10,000 subscribers. So it's definitely a grind. But I definitely think that you could make it in the 2K community. For those that don't know, Quantum was on, he was doing 2K and kind of life stories. Um, I think that you could have made it because, especially with the stories are always something that people want to see. And especially if you are funny in your 2K videos, then the stories, that energy will translate into the stories and people will be engaged in that. So I definitely thought you had something cooking there. Um, and it was kind of cool to see you doing it on the same channel. But I would definitely encourage you to get back into it if if you feel up to it. I don't know how long you're going to be
Yeah.
playing 2K, or if what kind of what you would use YouTube as a catalyst for in the future. Maybe you use it for business or other things like that. But yeah,
Yeah, bro.
it's
No, I was
go ahead.
no, not to cut you off. I was just gonna say, yeah, like, bro, the difference between like when I was looking at you and Clutch's content
Mm.
versus like mine is like y'all are ready to like blow though, at least in a way. Like
Yeah, in a way,
like
fair enough.
yeah, like if you get a vid with 100K views, like you gonna be ready to capitalize like on that 100K views.
Off that thing, yeah,
They gonna come to your channel, they're gonna be like, bro, this man be streaming every night. Like he always got the fire thumbnails, like he can edit. Like you gonna be, it's like y'all got the quality content of like a larger YouTuber, but like
right,
you just don't have that fan base yet. But once y'all do, like it's nothing different between you and them. But I felt like with mine, like I feel like even if I was to somehow like get into the algorithm and like blow, I didn't really have the skills yet. So I was like, I'll like, I don't know. I felt like I would, even if I was gonna get the chance that I was looking for, like out of a strike of luck, it wasn't really going
right.
like pop back then, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a different thing, and I don't know where your head is at, and I'm not saying this is where your head is at, but it's a different thing getting on YouTube to blow and then getting on YouTube because you actually want to do it.
Yeah.
You actually are going to grind it. Like I in my head, I can see myself even at the end of this year, having literally only gaining 30 more subs, having 600 subs at the end of this year, and I'm still willing to grind it.
Nah.
Like that's the kind of drive I have to do it. And if I know you got a lot of things going on with your, college and other business ventures that you're trying to get into. And it's a lot of things to juggle, man. It's a lot. Obviously, we've talked about it even with college for me. I'm taking this semester off to kind of focus on this and some other, internships with coding. But even juggling that work and this is like I'm going 24 hours a day, bro. Like there's no time. It's working like 2, 3 jobs. That's what it's like. But I do think, like I said, man, I'm still not taking it back that I feel that if you get into it and you feel that it can be a profitable thing, maybe if it's just for fun, like that's, hey, I want to do, I want to have this corporate job, but then I also want to have this thing that I do because it's just fun for me. But I can also see it as something that could be profitable for you in terms of business. And then you learning those skills and actually just paying somebody else to do the things that maybe you don't want to learn. The thumbnails, it doesn't really take that much. If you start making money off of YouTube, it doesn't take that much to pay somebody $10 for the thumbnail, you know. Um, and or learn it yourself. Either way, but yeah, that's an interesting thing, man. But I guess before I get too carried away with your, I know you said you're studying business in college. Um, Tell me a little bit more about that, man. What kind of classes are you taking? Where are you at in that stage? And what kind of internships are you looking at doing right now?
Yeah. No, like I don't even think it's at my business school that's like specific with it. I feel like at least at a lot of business schools that I was looking at,
Hmm.
like you don't really have to determine your major, like for real, at least at my business school. So I think it's like second semester or junior year.
Oh
So
wow, okay,
yeah, like
I'm not aware of that.
right now, like I'm taking like general business classes, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like major in accounting because
Okay,
I've been taking a lot of accounting classes and been good at
nice.
those. So yeah, that's what I'm focused on right now. A lot of accounting classes. This is probably like my third one. I'm gonna probably take one in the summer, and
Hmm.
then like because of that, I'm looking at all these accounting internships and really just like financial internships in general, which is like
Hmm.
a little bit different than accounting, but like not too different. But yeah, those are the two I'm focused on.
Right. So in terms of your Uh, why am I just forgetting the word? What's the thing that you just said you were taking 3 classes on? I literally
Accounting?
just forgot the word. Yeah, accounting. In terms of accounting, when if you were to land one of these internships, what would your like day to day look like? Like, would you be crunching numbers on an Excel sheet? Are you shadowing somebody? What's that actually look like?
Yeah, the internship, just because I'm gonna be a sophomore, I'm pretty sure it's mostly gonna be like a shadow thing, but you still
Okay.
it's definitely like not just literally following them and sitting them and watching them around. Like I'm pretty
Right.
sure they're
Right.
giving
Right.
you projects still and like you still actively doing stuff, but you get to because you're so young and you don't have like a bunch of skills like in reality, like which is crazy because they like anytime you go to college, you really think you learning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at least for business, they're like, yeah, what you learn in college, like you're gonna come here and know nothing. Like
Oh
no
yeah.
matter what
Oh
field you
yeah.
take.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's I was having that conversation a little bit with Nigel on the podcast, but you know, the college degree has immense value. I don't write the value that a college degree has in the world, but the value that it has is for people to see your ability to learn. Everybody in this world has made the college degree just a token of you being able to learn. It's not that you're going to actually know a whole bunch, even 10% of what you need to know in the actual field, which some would say, we need education reform for that. And, I agree with that to an extent. But yeah, this is you go through college, it's a hard course. Obviously, you've been working 24 hours a day doing these classes, doing all this stuff, don't have time for a lot of things. And but even though you get that degree, or you've had these 2 years of experience, you're still gonna walk into the doors knowing almost absolutely nothing and having to be trained by them. But it's the company's discretion of saying, hey, I've seen that this guy is putting the work, so we think that we can teach him and he's gonna retain the information. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Um in terms of Hmm. In terms of, I know you said you want to be, thinking about accounting. Would you be looking at going into a firm for that? Would you be looking at creating your own practice? What's kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, in turn, if I go into accounting, going into like a public accounting firm, like they call it
Hmm.
like the big four. It's like four different companies,
Gotcha.
which is the big four. That's definitely the spot of interest right now.
Okay.
But I have like way bigger plans than them in terms
Hmm.
of just like transitioning from accounting to finance, just because it seems, I don't know, it seems like the lifestyle right now in finance, like out there in New York and all that, it
Hmm.
seems attractive right now.
Right.
And
Right.
like
Right.
accounting, yeah, so account like the public accounting firms, it's like a little bit different of a lifestyle. I don't know. But yeah, the big four accounting firms, like public accounting, that's basically where I would go for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Um. When you say, lifestyle, what are you talking about? Are you talking about exactly the money that they're making, or are you talking about how much they get to travel? What do you mean by that for the people that well,
Yeah.
educate me as well,
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I mean, I don't know, because I'm still figuring it out too. Like when I talk to all these places, I'll tell them like, which is part of the reason why in all these internships I'm looking for something that like allows you to just see a bunch of different sides, so I can really figure out what I want to do. And then
mhm,
like it's weird because even in these accounting firms, there's like financial roles, which is what they're telling me. But I know, I gotta explain it this way. So
okay.
like right now, based off of the groups that I'm a part of, and it's not even like the reason I do or don't want it, but I also do just want to explore it.
Mhm,
Like that's crazy. I just voice cracked again. But
yeah, I'm used to it
what's
because I do it all the time.
yeah. But what's it called? It's like one, when you work for a place in New York, like it's a lot more just hype, and not just like hype among your peers, but I'm saying like also on your resume, which is crazy
Right.
because I
Fair
had
enough.
a conversation with my mom one time, and she was like, yeah, like I think she said she had opportunity to go to New York, and like if she could go back, she would take it. And like she was telling me I should, because like working on Wall Street is one of them things that will like just carry you through your resume, I
Yeah,
guess,
it's like
because
an
like
instant. Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
people respect, like if you could make it on Wall Street, then like you good enough to make it here. And then like yeah, the big four firms, like it's also like that too. Like in terms like they're like if you make it at one of these big four firms, then like it holds a lot of weight, especially depending on what you do there.
Mhm.
But it is a little bit of different lifestyle because like if I work at a big four firm like in Detroit,
Yeah.
it's like I think the money thing, it'll be better and worse in some aspects. Cause like the thing about financial roles sometimes is like you can be working like hard, like long
Right,
hours.
right, right.
Like uh for any of y'all that are familiar with like Goldman Sachs, like an article just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I don't know if you up to date on that, but it
No.
was really like you said no.
No, yeah, I haven't heard about it. The
Yeah.
article. Yeah.
It was literally, and it's only like 9 or so people, but it's the experience of the firm at the whole, where
Right.
it was like 10 first year analysts that were interviewed, just talked about like how they were being put through it, working like over 100 hours a week, um like barely getting enough time to like eat, sleep, and shower, like working, like getting off at 8 o'clock, having to be at work at like 6 o'clock the next day type stuff. They were like, I literally only
Yeah.
have like however many, yeah, they're like, besides sleep, like I
Yeah.
literally only have
There's
like,
nothing else.
yeah, like I have 3 hours to like shower, eat, do whatever after I get out of work, and then just like back to it the next day. And then they also get work up until like, they also get work on like Saturdays or Sundays. So like they were literally
Dang.
arguing for like no work like after Saturday, after like 9 p.m. Cause like that, when they're
Wow.
working 100, yeah. So that was
Yeah. I
like
mean,
their,
100 hours a week. That's no joke.
that's the thing. And like and I was reading it, and like the stuff they were asking for was crazy. They were like, don't
Okay.
give me work after, not crazy as in like crazy of them to ask for, but crazy that's the
No,
bare
crazy
minimum.
that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Crazy
They
that
were
they
like, all
have
right,
to ask for it. Yeah.
yeah. They was like, we need to not be receiving work after 9 p.m. on a Friday. I was like, oh wait, so y'all work all day Friday just to wake up in the morning, and y'all get more work on Saturday. And like,
Right.
so now y'all are just like, can we please not work after 9 p.m. on Friday? And I'm like, working till 9 p.m. on a Friday every night. So like,
That's
yeah,
that's rough. I mean, I don't know. I think that that's some would call that the grind. I agree with I agree with the grind to a certain extent. I mean, if that's what you gotta, sometimes in life there isn't shortcuts. There isn't shortcuts in terms of what business you want to be in, or what what you want to pursue in life is to be a doctor. You got to go through that 8 years of college. There's just isn't any shortcuts. And and I'm not sure what all entails with being in finance or accounting. Um, but that's interesting that that's something you got to be looking at and accounting for um, while going into those roles. Real quick, for I guess for me, and maybe that anybody that doesn't understand, what is the difference? I'm sure there's a minute difference, but what's the difference between like accounting and finance? Like, what are the different jobs in those
yeah.
roles?
Like finance is like almost like everything, bro. Like finance is like stock investing, like trading stocks,
Gotcha.
trading bonds. But it can also be like so much more, and accounting can also be more. But finance is like, yeah, like sort of like investing,
Okay.
lending, like real estate, like anything can fall under finance for real. And then accounting right now, I have like a narrower scope on what it is. Like,
Hmm.
but like based off of what the companies I've been talking to, they're like, nah, you can also like do financial stuff here. Like we have like, it seems like they're really like closely connected, but accounting is more so like the basic part of it is like breaking down a company's numbers.
Right.
So
Okay. That
every
makes sense.
single, yeah, like every single company has internal accountants, and those internal accountants are ones that like say like that actually calculate all the numbers. Like we made $50,000 in revenue this year, we spent $20,000 like transporting that revenue from this place to this place, and like all that, they break down the internal numbers. And then
Hmm.
the external accounting, which is like public accounting, that's like where you make more money for and which is more like attractive, but you have to go to an extra year of schooling to become like a public, not a public accounting, but to get employed by them. And then they're the ones who are like making sure that you're not lying on your like a company's
Gotcha.
not lying on its finances,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
sure when Apple says it made like
It's so back
500,000 in
to them.
revenue, that is
Yeah.
not lying to the people who invest in it.
Right.
So yeah.
Got you. Okay, yeah, thanks for that clarification because I was yeah, I just kind of wanted to know the specifics, but it's two different ways that I can carry the conversation on. I want you to pick. So we're gonna talk about both of them, but it's up to you which one we talk about first. So we're gonna talk about stocks and cryptocurrency and all that. We can take the conversation that direction, or we can talk about financial literacy and how you feel that your journey has affected that. So which one you want to talk about first?
Let's go with that financial literacy.
All right, yeah, man. So I think that, me and you have definitely resonated in financial literacy over the past couple of years, especially since we've been in college, because we've been educating ourselves.
Right.
Probably you more than I, because I'm not specifically in business. But I think that it's a huge it didn't really come to my attention in high school, that this was such a big problem because I had kind of already been educating myself. Probably about junior year is when it kind of kicked in, where I was like, "Yo, I need to learn about money." But that the school system, even in college, doesn't really teach you anything about money. And I think that it was a huge thing for me when I just started, researching it on YouTube and kind of looking up how do stocks and bonds work, how do different kind of investments work, how does cryptocurrency work, and then how to actually manage my money so I can make sure I'm not in credit card debt. How do credit cards work? How do I get a good credit score? So how do you feel? When did that journey start for you? And then how do you feel that um, your major in business has helped you kind of you know, become more financially literate?
Yeah, I mean, when it even started, I mean, it's still like a lot more I gotta learn. Like a lot of the like financial literacy I'm learning about now is all like the public stuff, in
Right.
terms of like companies and all that. But in terms of even knowing how to do like my own taxes, I
Yeah,
still don't
yeah.
know how to do, even though
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
an
right there.
accounting major, yeah, which is
Hey, I'm right there
ac-
with you, man.
yeah.
A
So
lot.
like I don't know, like I'm definitely getting educated like through school and through the stuff I'm involved with outside of school. Just so it's been cool because like it's at least for me, like I haven't even been more so educating myself. Like I'll join groups and then it'll be people there to educate me. Cause
Right,
like
right,
all
right.
that stuff is hard to even like figure out by yourself. In terms of in high school and all that, even though out of the high school we went to, like
Mhm.
and how hyped up it is, like we don't learn any of those skills, which
Yeah.
are crazy.
Not one. It's like, how hard would it have been to have one financial class? Even if it didn't, if it taught you the bare minimum of, a tax form, the bare minimum of just working at, Dunkin' Donuts or any kind of fast food restaurant and how to fill out that tax, form. And then, just how to kind of manage your money. Like, oh, this is how you get a credit score. Like that one semester, all of this other things that's required, exercising and all of that stuff is
Hard.
important. It's important. But, you know, um, money is the thing that I feel would be the most.
Right.
I mean, that is the driving force of almost everything you're doing, right? Like, yes, money is not the most important thing, but you're going to college to get a job to make decent money so
To
that
make
you
a
can
living.
support yourself financially, And if you don't know how to use that money, then what good was it getting that $100,000 job if you can't fill out your, you have no idea how to manage the money.
Right.
So I think that's a really good point, especially the caliber of school that we went to, in terms of just being a private school. It's still like people are like, "Oh, well, you went to a private school. You should have been educated on that." It's like, nah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, um, like I said, my financial literacy journey started, in junior year. I've talked about this person a little bit, whether it's on the podcast or on separate channels. But Graham Stephan on YouTube, I definitely been learning from him since like 2017, in terms of how to grow my credit score and all that. Um, but I got into um, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. COVID actually got me into actually pulling the trigger into investing in stocks.
Right.
And I was like, I think it was in the March time, and I just didn't have that much to, I was still worrying about school, but I was like, yo, I need to be making some money. Like I felt useless. And I was like, I need to be making some money. And I don't I'm just thinking about our scam stories when we had, ran into ran into
Yeah.
those. Maybe we'll have to talk about those some other time. But I I got into, investing in stocks and just kind of learning how all that works. And I think it's really important. But as far as stocks go, I know you have been, researching some stocks. I know it's been part of your parts of your classes. So, tell me a little bit about the stock market journey. I know I kind of got you into it a little bit. Are you investing now? Are you feeling a little bit more comfortable in the space? What's going on with it?
I'm investing, but bro, it's like is I don't even know if it's the stocks. Like, remember I told you about Baidu and like I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah. Yep, yep,
nah,
yep.
bro. It was at bro when I researched this for like extracurricular, sort of like school. But I researched this
Right.
back in November. It
Mhm.
was $150, bro,
Right.
back in November, and I was like, I don't know nothing about stocks. Like, I'm just
Right.
doing this for this project. I'm like, this is a cool company and all, but I'm not gonna put my money into it because, like,
Right.
I'm like, I don't know anything about stocks. I'm just doing this for this project, bro. I was doing an interview for an internship. I was telling dude about it. He's like, yeah, what company are you
Mhm.
about to do? He looked it up and he's like, ooh, he's like, that's at $250.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, but bro,
Yeah.
I invested in it then, right?
Mhm.
It was going up ever since, bro. Going up. It went up to 350, which is when I sent that message in there. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was like, I thought I heard 350 or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Yeah.
went all the way up to 350.
Yeah.
I didn't sell because I'm like, oh, I'm riding this out to the moon.
Okay, so I didn't know that you had invested. I thought
Yeah.
you missed out on the opportunity. So you invested at 150.
I invested at 250.
Okay,
So
250. So you did the
yeah,
interview, you invested at 250, and
when
then
he
it went up
tells
to
me,
350. Okay.
yeah, bro, ever since is it went back down to like 210, which isn't horrible,
Right, right.
but
It's not, it's not.
yeah, it's still a loss right now, and I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
sell it
right, right,
anymore.
right.
I'm gonna keep it because like it can go back up. But that's just one
Yeah, I
of
think
them.
gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I got burned on a different one too, and it was my fault I got burned. Like when the whole GameStop thing was happening and everybody was just investing in stocks, I
You
found
invested
one.
in AMC?
No, well, I found a company called like Arapria or like Apria,
Okay.
bro. It was when like everybody was like trying to take it to the man, take it to the
You're right,
hedge
right,
fund.
right, right. Everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
So
oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's that's something else because I know, we had talked about, for the people listening, me and Zach are in a group chat with a bunch of other guys, and it's really just it was a gaming group chat at the time, but we were talking about stocks, and we were covering all the news about GameStop and how it went up to like 350, and it was crazy, and then it just went down. Everybody was losing their money, and we were just like, you know what? See, we wouldn't have been able to get out because even the people at the top couldn't like sell for a period of time, and it's like that would have been too risky. That
right.
just shows why not to invest in that, right? And then it went down to like 40. It was at 40 for a couple of weeks, maybe
A
one or
long
two
time.
weeks, bro. Yeah, yeah, yo. Okay, yeah, it definitely was like a long time. So it had to be like 2 to 3 weeks because that's
Maybe
when I was
even
like, okay,
a month or something.
yeah,
It was at
it
40.
might have been. It might have
Yeah,
been even close to a month, y'all. And I was like, "Yep, see, this it's at 40 and it's still declining. Like it's gonna go right back down to that 10,
right.
or maybe 20, because some people are still juicing it. And then it hit, bro. It hit, man. Overnight, man. 40 to 150, 150 to 300, bro. It went all the way back up. I think it's sitting at like 140 now, but man, the money I was calculating the amount of money that I could have thrown in there as like, and would I have ever made that decision? Probably not. But
Right.
I could have thrown my investment account at the time because I was kind of ready to sell my positions and I could have just transformed that money into GameStop. And if I had made all that money or thrown all that money into GameStop, I probably wouldn't have been able to buy a Tesla outright right now. Like I'd have had 50, $60,000. Even at the price it is now, like at 140. So if it had stayed at 350, or if I was able to sell at 350 when it went
Right.
back up to 350, I would have been able to sell it for $140,000. And I
That's
was just, you know, that's interesting. And but in terms of I want to talk to you specifically about this because you're in business, but in terms of I guess I'll go to the NFT space first. What are your thoughts on like the NFT the big blowout of NFTs in the last, couple of months. No. What's your thoughts around that?
but I don't know what NFT stands for.
Oh,
What's
okay. Okay. So this is perfect. This is perfect. I was talking a little bit about this with Nigel. Um, but NFT stands for non-fungible token. And so you might have heard some of the news in terms of somebody selling like a digital drawing or a digital
yeah,
painting for like $70 million.
yeah.
And so that's an NFT. You've seen some creators on YouTube like Logan Paul or some people like that have created like Pokemon cards of themselves and sold that for like 3,000 a piece as an NFT. Um, and it's when non or the word fungible means that it can be traded for the exact same value. So a dollar would be examples that of something that is fungible. If I have $10, like
Right.
10 $1 bills, and you have a $10 bill, I you wouldn't feel cheated if I trade you the $10 for that one $10 bill because it's the exact same value.
Right.
With an NFT, a non-fungible token means that it can't be traded for like one for one because
Right.
it's on the blockchain, it has its own set of numbers, and it's now immutable. It can't be changed. My thing with that is that space has kind of been blown up in like February, beginning of March, and everybody was trying to buy, but now everybody's trying to like sell off their NFTs. People are like, oh, I don't like I'm trying to create an NFT and make $70 million as well. So I'd be interested. I know you said you don't know a lot about it, but I'd be interested in seeing if that's something that comes up in your business classes or something. Um, because I don't know, man. The future is digital, as they say. But in terms of cryptocurrency, which is something you know more about, what have your any of business classes been talking about cryptocurrency, or have you just been kind of like researching that on your own, or
Yeah, not even like in the like business classes or like programs that I'm in, which is weird because they do sometimes they'll make an emphasis to act like they're above like certain things. Like one of the programs I was in, it was like, we are not talking about the GameStop thing. We are not talking about that. Like, no, we are above that. Like,
right?
and so yeah, like, and then even then, like, you can get anything to change. So we did end up talking about it, but it's one of the things that you sort of have to like force them on. Like, if you're like in the class, you're in a space where
Hmm.
they're like not talking about that, and you want to learn, and you're like, I'm here to learn finance, and this is a part of finance.
Right.
Like
That's
you
gotta
gotta,
be.
huh?
No, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you gotta like make sure to like speak up and be like, I want to know more about this topic because it interests me. And then
Yeah.
in terms of crypto, like I haven't really asked anybody about it because I feel like I'm just like I know enough, but I'm not too into it yet. Like I would only be into the bigger ones, like the more stable ones, like Bitcoin, but
Right. Right. Right.
like
And
Dog and
Bitcoin,
them,
Ethereum.
yeah,
uh, That's yeah, it's something I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around. Um, I didn't uh I was trying, the thing I'm trying to wrap my head around now is the different sectors of Bitcoin and how, which Bitcoins can't be just printed,
right,
like they can't just add 15 million coins in one day. And so, in terms of like Dogecoin, I didn't realize that Dogecoin, if they wanted to, they could just print 100 billion more coins and then there would be no value of the coin. And,
right,
and that's something it's like, oh, well, that's something you got to be looking at. And then with Bitcoin, that's a little bit different, obviously. Um, but yeah, man, I know people that have, bought, even in our high school that have bought Bitcoin um, at a super low price, man. And I am jealous, dude. But it's no way I could have known. It's
right,
just no way I could have known that was gonna go up, and then no way that I had the knowledge to actually start investing.
yeah.
Like, and as a 15-year-old kid, I'm not gonna be like, okay, let me throw my only $100 into Bitcoin. Like I'm trying to buy some some technology or something. Um, but yeah, I think that's interesting, and I think it's interesting in like traditional uh teachings that they are like, oh, we're kind of above this, but the world is changing, bro. Like the world is changing, and I feel like even in finance, well, I mean, especially in finance, that they should be kind of adapting. They should be kind of adapting to like speaking about why this is happening. Why did this whole GameStop happen? How exactly were the people able to make the stock rise? And then in terms of decentralization and Bitcoin, how is that going to affect how we do finance in the coming years? So that's I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I you know I, I obviously I talk about content creation a lot on the podcast, and I wanted to ask you if there was do you see a future of you using social media as an influence in the business that you do in the future?
Not at the moment, because right now, like the type of business I'm looking at doesn't really involve like marketing or like stuff that you would normally use social media for in business, like
Mm.
yeah, it doesn't really involve like marketing. Is more so like just like the changing of money and stuff like that. So it's not right now in the stuff I'm interested in. It's not really like a lane for me to be using it. But even lately, I've like rarely been on social media, like turned down my use of it.
Mhm.
Just cause, which is weird, cause like I don't know. Yeah, I mean, as time goes on, I don't know if this maybe I'm getting bored with the social medias I have, or I just like want to keep my circle small. But yeah, I've been
Yeah.
using it like less and less as time went on.
I hear that. I hear that. I definitely, I feel like in terms of like all the Snapchat, I just stopped using Snapchat before anybody. I still have it downloaded because a couple of people contact me on there, and I don't want them to have my number. So, it's like I keep it open for that, but I'm not on Snapchat and somebody unless somebody texts me.
So
I'm not. I tried to unfollow most of the people on Instagram. I still follow like 250 people, but I think people will find it super interesting that if they unfollowed all the celebrities and all the little meme accounts that they follow, people literally don't post. Out of those 250
yeah,
people, only one person to two people will post that day. Like you literally won't have one to two pictures to look at,
right,
and then it'll say you're done for the day, and it'll start recommending you content. And I have
right.
to like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I not to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that I went through that same thing, especially on social media. I started like unfollowing like everybody I didn't know, unfollowing obviously all like the Instagram models, the celebrities, like
Yeah,
yeah, and not even just people I don't know, like unfollowing people I don't actively have a relationship with. Like
yeah,
if I knew you
exactly.
from a couple years ago, but I wasn't really cool with you, and I'm definitely not really cool with you now. Like you just gonna get that unfollow, and I'm gonna remove you from my
Yeah,
end too. Like because I kind of don't want you seeing my life because we just not cool like that. But
right, 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 right.
yeah, and then I follow like maybe two celebrities. Like I definitely follow like Yara Shahidi, and then
Hmm.
maybe somebody else. But
Yeah, man, she's definitely incredible in terms of what she is doing. I feel like she's gonna run for president. Like I feel like
you
she's
think
president. I
maybe?
feel. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know if she's talked about it, but
Mhm.
if she'd be willing to run for president, but I think just the incredible knowledge that she has like exhibited in everything political and her plans to move the world forward. I think that if president was something she wanted to become, it would be something that was achievable for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just respect her. I some of her shows I felt like they kind of fell off, but in terms of what she's doing in the political sphere, it's like
Yeah.
I props to her. In being able to do what she's been able to do.
Yeah, nah. But I was just saying with her, like I follow like maybe her and one other celebrity, but like
Mhm.
Instagram will literally only show me their pics, no matter if somebody just posted 5 minutes ago on my feed, like that Yara Shahidi,
Yeah.
like the celebrity pic, or like I follow the NBA page, like just the
Right.
official page.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all those posts are gonna be above the post that actually came like 20 minutes ago, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't realize how much I hated when they changed that algorithm instead of just the most recent post.
yeah,
Um, and I noticed it probably senior year of high school, but that's one of the biggest reasons why I started unfollowing all this stuff. Like not necessarily that I didn't want to see, the stuff that I was following because I followed it for a reason, some of the stuff I had grown out of. Um, but it was because I wasn't even seeing the people that I actually
yeah,
cared about. Like, okay, I'm seeing a celebrity, but then I'm scrolling back and all I see is celebrity, or all I see is I followed a bunch of car pages because I was interested in cars. Like, okay, this is great. I want this on my page, but I don't want a post from 2 weeks on my page at the top of my page from a car page. Like, that's just not what I want. And then it keeps recommending it because I liked it, because it's at the top of my feed. I liked it, and so then it just recommends me more stuff. Um, yeah, man, that's an interesting thing. But I know it's cliche, but I do agree with the movement of if I wasn't trying to get a career in social media, I probably wouldn't be using it at all, except YouTube. That's the only one I would because I just enjoy watching stuff.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
the same.
I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting that you haven't, you don't really see a, use for the social media. What about LinkedIn? Do you feel like I know you can kind of connect with people, but do you
Mhm.
post a lot on there? I'm not really on, but
No, I which is crazy because like freshman year, I was like heavy on the LinkedIn, like
mhm.
trying to get all those connections, trying to hit like 500 plus.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, trying to like make sure you just popping on LinkedIn because that's what everybody talks about. And I guess I don't, well, no, I don't, bro. I don't see it yet. Like I don't see the opportunity yet. Like, yeah, maybe I just don't post enough. That's probably what it is too. Like I got
Right.
all these connections, probably like 500 to 600 connections.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I rarely post on there. I just like will like other people's stuff. So maybe, yeah, maybe if you like post more, like if you get a notable accomplishment and you throw it up on there and then like a high ranking connection of yours sees and they're like, oh, I'm impressed. Like I wanna like maybe give him an
Yeah.
opportunity where I'm at. Then maybe it can be useful. But like, yeah, right now I haven't been seeing anything crazy besides like, an occasional like scam here and there.
Oh, that's how the lady contacted you, isn't it? About
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, you know, um well, I'm talking about here for those that don't know, I over the quarantine, I got into looking at Forex. And that's the foreign exchange market. For anybody that doesn't know, Forex is not a scam. The foreign exchange market is a very real thing. People make billions of dollars in it every year. But what is a scam is the people that are trying to teach you how to actually do Forex, and you have to pay to for them to teach you how to do Forex, and you're not really getting anything out of that. But what was the thing? Was it Amtrak or
Amway,
oh,
yeah.
Amway. And that's been a scam that's been around for a long time. And these people on LinkedIn be trying to get you be trying to
Bro,
get you in these scams.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's that's a tough thing. But in terms of LinkedIn, I don't know. I was very turned off by LinkedIn. I created one because people told me I needed to create one, and for business and everything. And I don't know. I think that I don't feel that it's very authentic on there, and it's kind of like, and I know that's what it's for. It's for like for people to post like their best accomplishments and things that are going on in terms of business, which I understand, but it's like I don't know. It just felt a little weird to me. Just being on there like, oh, this man got a scholarship. This guy, like, I just
Yeah.
didn't want to be saying all that stuff on LinkedIn. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know, and maybe that's just my own insecurity about myself. Like, that I didn't feel comfortable doing that. But I didn't feel comfortable about people reaching out to me and trying to connect with me just over something that they've seen with no, I don't know. It was a weird vibe. I know people, that are very successful that have, used LinkedIn to get countless, actual, actually used it for networking in a profitable way. But I feel that, the partners that I want to, meet, I'll meet in a different way. Maybe not
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
yeah. But I can relate to that. The whole like going on LinkedIn and then just seeing like everybody got an internship. Cause I think I deleted like the whole LinkedIn app. But
Mhm.
it wasn't just that. I was on like a social media cleanse, like probably back in October and like
Right.
November. But LinkedIn was like one of the first to go, bro. Cause every single day, like I was applying for all these internships, bro.
Mhm.
And it was like a grind of a process, bro.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and if you hear like, oh, like they would tell me like, oh yeah, you should hear back from us within like 2 weeks. I wouldn't hear back, and then I just
Yeah.
go on LinkedIn and somebody else post about that same thing, like,
That's
oh,
it.
I just gotten
I
this, and
got
I'd
it,
be like,
right.
oh, congrats, like I like the post, but it'd be like 10 of them in a row, and I'm like, okay, bro, like it's that same thing where I was like, yeah, bro, like I guess the insecurity, but I'm like, bro, I'm just comparing myself to all these people's
Right.
like
That
success.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's really just comparing myself to all these people. And not that I don't want, well, half the people I don't really even know. I don't
right.
understand how they got on my feed. And then a lot of people like added me, added, and that's I probably have what 50, 60 connections on there, and it's because everybody added me. Because one person added me and then it put me on the recommended for somebody else to add me. And so
Right.
I just kept getting added on LinkedIn, and then that kind of eventually just stopped because I literally would just go on there to clear the notifications and just like press accept to most of them. If it's something I didn't know, I didn't press accept. But um, yeah, it's just a constant comparing yourself, and that you could say that with all social media.
Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, I will, there are people that want to follow me. If you want to follow me on other social medias, I'll post a small achievement, and I'm not even gonna put it in a post. I'm just gonna put it on my story. So if you wanna, you really gotta be messing with people if you're watching their story, and you didn't just tap through it. You actually looked at it. So that's on your own merit if you look at my achievement on my story. But um, yeah, man, I don't know. That's yeah, it's just a different world, man. People people with this social media, it's something different. But in terms of transitioning, I know we talked about, the business aspect of college and all that stuff. But how is the grind, man, in general? How do you feel that you've been coping with, obviously the stress that college induces on you in terms of classes, a whole bunch of classes in a day, and that you gotta be kind of working 24/7. And how are you able to like find that balance for those, especially during these times? For those that may be even trying to study, business or just going into college in general.
Yeah, like the balance is hard. I don't know if I got like a balance, but I just got something to work. Like, it works for me when
Hmm.
and then even then that always has to be adjusted. But like
Right.
first semester, like freshman year when we were both on campus, like
Hmm.
it was a lot easier because like things just were so much more rewarding. Like I could literally grind like all week, but I know like this Friday, this Saturday, like I'm gonna have fun. Like I don't know what I'm gonna
Okay.
do,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, like it was really just because yeah, like the thing about when I was on college, like my freshman year,
Hmm.
it was so tough that first semester. Cause one, I was in Indiana, it started getting cold mad quick. I had all 8 a.m.s, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I was like, dude, there's no way. I was barely surviving with the one. I think I had a 9 a.m. for math or something. But yeah,
right.
crazy.
Yeah, bro. I had all 8 a.m.s, basically. So like, bro, here's the thing. It's good and bad because like, especially with 8 a.m.s, you have time throughout the day to like get what you need to get done because you up so
Right.
early. Like that's
Hmm.
the thing. It's like if you up since 8 a.m., you get out of class at like 9 or 10, like, and then you got whatever class you have, but you have the whole rest of the day, like do your homework or like manage your time, which
Right.
is like made it easier, but also sometimes it didn't because you got all this other stuff outside of school that you got to deal with. And then yeah, but this second, like not second semester, this second year, like it's been easier and harder. Like online classes were by no means easier at all, especially sophomore
Gotcha.
class. Like, that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so for that first semester, like it was hard because it's like, yeah, where does the motivation come from? Like
Right.
you just gotta have that like inner motivation that like what I'm doing. And that's why like you gotta make sure that, or not even make sure, but you gotta like trust that what you doing is like what you actually like what you're working towards is actually like a future you could see yourself in. Cause
Right.
yeah, like when you're doing all that work and you don't really see any payoff and it's like
Yeah.
it's no motivation because we're in a pandemic. I'm in class all day staring at my computer screen.
Right.
Like I don't think any of us want to do it, but it depends on like if you can see that progressing yourself. Like for me, I just know like I can see the work, maybe not like see visually, but I'm
Hmm.
like I know one day this work is gonna pay off in some way,
Right.
and I would just be able to hope for that. So it's really like being able to have like a vision and being able to not like forget about that vision. Like make sure that you know where you want to be and that you just taking active steps to make it there, and that like just not being lazy with it. Like you don't have to work all day, but I feel like making sure that you're not cheating the grind in any way. Like
Yeah.
that's the
Mm.
thing. When you cheat your own grind, like it may not always like screw you over, but sometimes when you do get screwed over, like
Yeah.
you might think like, man, if only I really took it more seriously at the beginning, like then I wouldn't be in this position. So I've been trying to just like not cheat the grind, like stay honest to my own grind. Just
Yeah.
try like as hard as I can when I can, and it doesn't mean I have to be perfect, but just giving as much effort as I can, and then just being okay with what happens after that.
Right. Yeah. I think, man, all good points there. I think in terms of the cheating your own grind, man, definitely big point there. It seems that you're winning in the short term. You know, when you cheat your own grind, it seems that you're winning in the short term, but it'll always catch up to you in the long term. You might get away with some things, but if you start, cheating your own grind in a specific area all the time, it's definitely gonna catch up to you, whether that be time that you have to go back and learning that, whether that be, any other repercussions. In however you're cheating your own grind. But also, you had a good point about, or a point that resonated with me, uh, about being dedicated and having a vision, of your plan of what you want to do in life, and how do you see, excuse me, do you actually see, the work that you're doing, paying off, for you and whatever you want to do in life. I think that's something I definitely reevaluated over the quarantine, and one of the big reasons why I took this semester off is because I did see that work paying off, in the long term, but then I also saw other opportunities um, that were there in the short term, that I could make long term, and that actually,
Right.
were a little bit more specific to my journey of where I wanted to be in life. Um, so I think that's definitely great advice for those out there. It was a blessing in disguise. Obviously, COVID was a horrible thing, that happened to the world, but it slowed a lot of things down, and it made a lot of people think. You have seen more people in this last year completely change their entire life, off of doing something, whether it be on the internet, whether it be on, changing job careers, because maybe they were even laid off from their job and they changed, job careers, like, hey, well, I'm going to take this opportunity and do something different, or learn a new skill and actually pursue something that I've always wanted to pursue in my life. And so that's a big thing that I know coming out of the quarantine, you won't have that kind of, intense,
Yeah.
you won't have that intense thing of like, oh, looking inward in yourself and actually, figuring that out, because the world will continue to move fast. But making sure to take the time to actually, go over that vision that you have for yourself in 10, 20, 40 years, and see how that's actually affected. So yeah, man. Um, well, man, Zach, I appreciate you being on the podcast. We're gonna wrap up here with this Cam cheat codes here. I don't want to make it too long, but this has been a great podcast. So I wanted to thank you even before we do the Cam cheat codes for, taking time out of your schedule, man. I know you're a busy man, um, to come on the show. But for the Cam's cheat codes, as you all know, whenever I have a guest, I have my guests do the Cam's cheat codes. So the question for you, Zach, today is, you are specifically in business, and I think you'll be able to give them, some insight to this. But you can do general advice as well, whether that just be in life, or college. So I don't want to limit you to like only business advice or business major advice. But what would be your advice for those that, are going to college, are maybe potentially trying to get into business, and you know, yeah, what would your advice be, for them to succeed in the areas that maybe you realize that you kind of failed at going into college and into what you do now?
Yeah, I mean, one thing with business and just like in general is like make sure to like hold on to like, every connection and make sure like you like stay in like keep in touch with people like and it sounds like using people type thing. That's not really what I mean, but I just mean
Mhm.
like sometimes like you meet somebody and then like they like excited to meet you and all that, but you're just like, oh, like it was cool to meet
Right.
them, but I'm gonna just go on with my day, like never talk
Right.
to them
Right.
again. Like, or you start seeing them like frequently, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it happened with me, and I was thankful enough to like I'll give an example of like one of my friends, like one of my
Mhm.
like closest friends at college. Like I met this man, I don't know, maybe sometime during Welcome Week, like black dude studying business in the school, like not a lot of us. So like I just met
Yeah.
him one
Yeah.
time. I was like, "What's up, bro?" We kept it moving. I didn't know him, man. I like
Yeah.
had no effort to like know this dude. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I
Yeah.
got my own friends. Like, and then I just ran into him like again. Like I think my dad visited at like on Memorial Day, like Labor Day, I think it was. and he saw me at Target, and like he came up, and like I knew him but didn't really know him. Like it's not like we were friends. Like we were just like I said what up to him. It was just like two black dudes on campus, like what's up. But then he came up to me at Target, like was like, oh, what's up, bro? He introduced himself to my dad. But then again, like I'm like, oh yeah, like I noticed I'm not really cool with him. So like he was like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is and I just like stared at him. Then I stared at my dad, and I was like, all right. And then we just walked away.
That's it. Yeah.
But like I started like seeing this dude over and over again, and like we just became cool. But like this man himself has like connected me with so many like opportunities and like really put me on and all that. And it's crazy because it's really because he wanted to be friends with me, because I just I was just like oblivious to it. I'm just like sitting here thinking I'm just meeting somebody, and then like a year later, like half of the stuff that I'm getting into is because of him. So like just making sure that you got like people around you who gonna like support you like that and just like be proud of you and try to like put you on to what they get put on to. But then just making sure like being always aware of how you treat people, and I don't know, that's
burning
general
your
life
bridges.
advice. Huh?
Yeah. I said, not burning your bridges.
Yeah, like just not burning bridges, being aware of how you like treat people, and just being open to like keep connections open, because you never know who can open the door for you, especially like when you might need it too. So
yeah. I think that's obviously great advice. It goes back to what we talked about in terms of a college degree, and then going into the workforce. A college degree, is good for showing people and showing the person that your employer, that you are good, to you're good at learning. You can be molded into whatever they need you to be for that company. But the other big draw of getting a college degree and just going to college in general is that networking. And if you are not open to that, then you're missing out on a big opportunity. And you're almost kind of wasting a little bit of money to, you're getting that exposure by paying for college. So yeah, man, all good things, man. But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to say to the pod, man, before I wrap it up here?
nah, man, stay tuned to Cam Chronicles. Watch that perfectionism video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here it is, man. Go watch that perfectionism video. Get that to at least 25 views or something. But yeah, that is going to bring us to the end of the podcast, y'all. Hope you did enjoy this podcast. Again, thank you to you, Zach, man, for coming on. I don't know, I know we talked about not using social media too much. I won't put your social media out there if you don't want it out there. But did you want it out there or no?
Nah, we'll be good.
All right, cool. Yeah. But yeah, hey, y'all, make sure to stay tuned with the podcast. Obviously, we dropping every single Sunday. I'm gonna be releasing videos on the Cam Chronicles channel. Hopefully 2 times a week, man. I didn't get the one yesterday. I kind of collapsed yesterday, so but hopefully 2 times a week. Make sure y'all are staying tuned in, and that's gonna do it for this episode. So peace out.